Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Music Nation. My name is Jacko, and today we're looking at Spaces 2 from EastWest. This is a convolution reverb plugin, and video is actually to support our full written review at the moment over on the website on musicnation.co.nz. So I invite you to go check that out. What I'm hoping to do today is demonstrate not so much the sound of the reverb, but more the difference between your typical bus send effect and the new instrument-specific presets that they have included, which I'm hopefully you agree they're very, very nice sounding. So to do that, you need to split your mix. So I'm going to use Reason today, and the reason is the reason we're using Reason is because it looks like a recording studio. So hopefully you guys can kind of follow along. So what we have here is a mixing desk, and there is 4 channels assigned to 4 instances of contact, right? And each of these contact is running Albion 1, and they are set to close mics only, so no ambient mics, and I'm just using longs with no dynamics. Okay, so this is all single dynamic range, and we have strings, high woodwinds, low woodwinds, and brass. They go into their own independent channel on the desk here, and then the auxiliary send goes to each of these instrument-specific reverbs. That's these ones up here. I've kept open so we can see them making noises. And so the strings goes to the strings one, of course. The woodwinds goes to that one, the low woodwinds to that one, and the brass to that one. You can see about the fancy looking pictures. And then we have a master output, which goes to this 5th example here, which is this one down here, as a complete master send, which would be your typical bus send, right, as you would normally use a reverb. So what I can do here is on my keyboard, I can dial up the auxiliary sends to these 4 here, and they all send at the same time, so the exact same amount. Or alternatively, I can just enable the bus send version here, so we get two different versions to listen to. So they are all using the same impulses, which is the S-Cal Hall at about 3.5 seconds. The differences are the independent ones. The impulses were sent from the perspective of the instrument we're talking about. So the strings, it was a specific place on the stage and an angle of the instrument. They sent the impulse from there, which reverberates off the walls at a different kind of characteristic, as opposed to like an all-in-one kind of a send. So that's the approach behind it. Each of these instruments has a different location on stage and a different way that they were projected. The impulses were fired, to in turn bring back a different result. So at first, when I saw this and I played with it, I was like, oh, yeah, it sounds kind of cool, but it's not until you have to split, I found at least, you have to split it like this to get the best results from it. So let's have a quick listen to Albion. So this is strings, high woodwinds, low woodwinds, and brass. Very dry sounding. Close mic'd. Perfect. Now let's have a listen to the Spaces, this one down here, which would be sent as a typical bus send. This is how you usually do reverb. And focus on the tail end, because the ambient sound of the room, it sounds fantastic. I've never been to S-Cal Hall, but I'm sure it sounds just like the real place. But what I'm really interested in is the tail end and like the little bit before the tail. I'm not sure what you call that, but like the pre-tail end, right? It should sound very nice and glassy and kind of disappear off into smoke. There'll be no artifacts, no kind of weirdness kind of happening in the sample, and that's certainly what you'll hear today with this convolution reverb. So let's play through this bus send version. Beautiful tail end. Very cool. Okay, so I'll disable that now, and we will turn up the auxiliary sends to each of these independent variants. Just fantastic. So hopefully you can hear that it's area and it's much clearer, and the sound stage is definitely wider. It sounds brighter, but I don't think it is. It's more that the low end is a lot cleaner sounding, and there's less smudging going on, so it gives the impression of it being brighter. When you're playing it, there's a feel. How can I explain it? Like when you play chords with a virtual instrument, there's inevitably a little bit of over crossover, like when you change chords when you're holding down your sustain pedal. Now that little hump of sound typically is emphasized when you send it as a bus reverb, so you get these little spikes of loudness and muddiness, and that is less apparent when you run split like this. So I'm just going to play for a little bit more, and then I'll swap back and forth between the two versions, and yeah, enjoy. Here we go. Very nice sounding. So there we go. So hopefully that's, makes a little bit of sense. You understand how I've routed this and how you probably have to do it in your DAW. Sensational sounding reverb, certainly no doubt about that. But once you split it out into the independent specific instruments, and this is, I'm still sending actually ensembles out to these. So really, you want to split down your strings into even further groups. So there'd be like, your violin section, your cello, viola, whatever. Your woodwinds, you'd split that even further. Your brass, of course, there's horns and trumpets and all sorts of stuff, right? So you'd take it even further. But this demonstrates, hopefully, just as ensemble sense here, that it still sounds remarkably better, I believe. As opposed to just sending it all out as a bus. So anyway, thanks so much for listening and watching, and as I said, check out our full written review on musicnation.co.nz, or alternatively just shoot over to EastWest and purchase your copy of Spaces 2 right now. So I think you'll enjoy it. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll check you out next time. This is Jacko. Catch you later. Bye.